Hello everyone, for today's video, it's going to be a little different. Now, it's going to be like the last video, so I'm going to be going over the back in time card trick, the slop card trick, and a variation for the tricks, and I'm also going to be doing the next deck review. So how I'm going to do this is simple. I'm going to do the performances, the deck review, and then the tutorials. So let's get into the first performance here for the first trick, which will be the slop card trick. So the deck is shuffled and we have a card selected. Now I'm not going to look at this card, so here you go. Go ahead and remember that for me. Going to take your selection and we're going to lose it somewhere in the middle and give the deck a few shuffles. Now, I would ask the spectator if they have ever been to Vegas, and it wouldn't matter if they said yes or no, because I would show them that in Vegas, they have something called a slop shuffle, which I'm doing, which involves turning cards face up and face down. And this actually creates a big mess, as you can see. Face down to face up to face down, and we have even back to back. But this shuffle is really magical, because if I snap my fingers, all of the cards are face down. One is face up, and it should be your card, the King of Hearts, or Teddy Roosevelt. So that was the slop shuffle trick. Let's get into the back in time trick. So we're going to get the deck shuffled, and we're going to have a selection. So let's say that one. I don't want to look at it. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your selection and leave it on top of the deck and lose it right in. So now we would refer back to that sloppy shuffle they do in Vegas. And essentially, all they would do is simple. First, I will give the deck a cut. And then I would start. So we're going to turn cards up and down like this. Until we get to the very end. So now I would ask the spectator, is your card here? No. Is your card here? No. Okay. How about I can find it for you if I look hard enough here. Is your card right here, face to face? No. Okay. Well, the 7 wasn't your card. We're going to put that down. And if I snap my fingers, all the cards are face down. One is face up. And it should be your King of Clubs. That was the performance. Not my best performance. But let's go into the last trick finally. So we're going to get the deck shuffled. And we're going to have a card selected. So let's say that one. I'm not going to look at it, so here you go. Go ahead and remember that. And we're going to cut it into the deck. Maybe give it a few more cuts. So now we're going to do the sloppy shuffle again. Until we get to the very end. Just like this. So I want to show you here what this actually creates. Because this creates some face up to face down. It creates some face down to face up. And it creates some back to back. But the shuffle's different. If I snap my fingers, all of them are face down. One card's on top, and it should be your 8 of clubs. Those were the tricks. Now, before we get into the tutorials for them, let's get into the next deck review here. So the next deck we have here is the Bicycle 1885 deck. Now, right off the bat, as you can see, it's a white box, and it says Bicycle in gold, and it's a little embossed. 1885 under here, and it's embossed. That has like a spade. And this is a little embossed. And you can see white and then gold. So that's the top of the box. Now, or the front of the box. Now, on top it says poker size cards, okay? On the sides it says air cushion finish, made in the USA. On the other side it says the same thing. On the bottom it has the barcode and everything. Then on the back it has the back design of the cards. Now if we open up this flap, it just has some more information. Now, if we look at the box, the flaps are white, but as you can see inside the box, it is all decorated. I think you can see that. So, that is the box. Now, the first thing you're going to get when you open up the deck is you'll get this card. Now, here's the back design of the cards. And this is actually this little card here. So it's a nice little ad card. I don't know what this card is for, but it's nice that they have it. And you're going to get a card about Bicycle. So you can pause the video and read that. And lastly, what you're going to get are 2 jokers. Now, these jokers are interesting. So, here's the first joker. So, it says Joker. Oh, okay. So, it says Joker. He's riding the bicycle. And you can see him there. Now, the other joker is right here. And she's actually a queen. So, instead of 2 male jokers, you have a queen and then like a king. Okay? And look at the font on the jokers. They're a little different too. So these are the only special cards you get. You don't get any double backers or double facers or anything. So I'm going to go over this whole deck here. So keep in mind you can pause the video for each card. But here's the first card. So the Ace of Spades. You can see that. And let's just go through all these cards here. So look at each of the spades. You can see how they're more pointed at the top. So that's one thing they changed. Now, going over the jacks, queens, and kings, here's the jack. So you can pause the video and look at him. Here's the queen. Here's the king. Now, I'm not going over this deck in depth because I don't want to make this video really long because we have the tutorials we have to get to. But if you would like a separate deck review on any of these 3 decks I'm going to do, just let me know and I will go over it in depth and do that. But for now, I'm just going to show you them. In case you can't tell, the reds are definitely darker than a bicycle deck. And here are the courts. So here's the jack. Here's the queen. Here's the king. And now for the clubs, they start with the courts. So the king, the queen, and the jack. To me, it looks like he got punched in the face there a little. Looks like his cheek's a little swollen, but that could be me. Look how skinny these clubs are, like the stems. And lastly, we're on the hearts. So you can see how they're pointed too at the bottom and they're dark red. So that was the deck. Now, I'll be going over handling in the next video because I'll be using this deck for the next trick. But basically, this was the deck I got. If you want a full review on any of these 3 decks, just let me know and I will make a video just for that deck. But now that we got that deck review out of the way, we're going to go over the tutorials. Now, I know the performances weren't the greatest, so hopefully the tutorials will be, because the performances weren't. So, the first trick, these are all impromptu, so you don't need any setup. So, the first one is the Slop Shuffle trick, I think. And here's how it's done. So, there's just a minor setup. Now, it's not really that much of a setup. But basically, all you're going to do before you start the trick is just bend your deck in. Now, because these are new, I had trouble with it, and that's probably why I flashed a lot and messed up. But you can let me know if I flashed any, but all you have to do is just bend your deck in, and you're all set. So you're going to get a card selected, but you're not going to look at it. But in this case, we're going to look at it. So we have the 2 of spades. All you're going to do with the 2 of spades is control it to the bottom. Now, I have a lot of videos on my channel going over card controls. So make sure you check those out. And I'll probably be uploading some more videos too on card control. But essentially, all I did was a double undercut first. I have a whole video on the double undercut, so make sure you check that out. So I'm going to take the card, I'm going to open up about half of the deck and put it in. Push down and in, and you get a break. Take about half, cut it to the top, take the other half, cut it to the top. It's on top now. Now you have to shuffle it to the bottom, so you hold it like this. Now, keep in mind, you can do any card control to control it to the bottom. This is just what I did. So you have it like this. Middle ring pinky on top, index on the side, thumb right here. Use your other hand to peel down 1 card, which is their card. Keep in mind, if you peel off a bunch of cards, so 2 of spades, peel off a bunch of cards and you shuffle some more, you're going to lose that card right in the middle. So peel off 1, and then you can shuffle some more on top by just letting go of some pressure, and they'll just fall right on. Controlling it to the bottom. If you want to keep it on the bottom, have all 4 of your fingers here, and you can take out some cards from the middle, the top, the back. Doesn't matter, but with your fingers holding this card the entire time, you're not gonna lose it, as you can see, hopefully, right there. So now after that, you're gonna do the slop shuffle. So this is real easy. Just one thing you'll have to remember. You're gonna push off some cards, about 3, 4, or 5. Put them in your right hand and hold on to them. Gonna turn your hand over, push off around the same amount of cards, clip them with your thumb, then turn your hand over again. Push off some more, clip it with your fingers, turn your hand over, push off some more, clip with your thumb, turn your hand over. It looks like a shuffle, when in reality it does nothing. Just turns some of the cards face up, and the rest of the cards are face down. But if you do this really quick, and you keep it really tight like this, it's going to look like it's really being shuffled. Now, when you're doing the shuffle, when you get to the bottom and you have one card left, you know this is their selection. You can either place it on top, or you can turn your hand over with all the cards and place it on top. Either way you do it, this card now has to go on top. Now look at what that bow did. Now keep in mind, this doesn't ruin your deck, your cards, okay? You can always take this bow out, but makes it easier so you can cut to the two face down halves. So all this creates is face down, face up, face down with their card. So now you can go through and you can show. So first I start from the bottom. I take off about a quarter, show face down to face up. Put that back on top. Go near the top. We have face up to face down. Put this back on top. Don't turn it, because then you'll just lose it right in there with the face up cards. Then go to your break and lift up. Now if you have to, you can always riffle up. But if you're good enough, you can just lift up. Plus that little break there should help. So you're going to lift up, you're going to turn over your hands and show. Now here's what you're going to do. When you lift up, you're going to turn over both of your hands like this. Watch this right hand. Turn the packets over. Use my index finger. Turn that into myself, which will now have their card face up. Keep in mind, these are face down. These are face down. You put this on top, and now you are all set. Okay, so let's go over that one more time. So you have face down to face up. You have face up to face down. And you have face down to face down. Turn my hands, turn them back over. Use my right index finger, turn that packet into myself. Put this on top, and now you're all set. You spread the deck. One card is face up, and it's there. 2 of spades. That was the slop shuffle trick. Probably one of the easiest tricks ever. A very famous trick a lot of people do. Here's the next trick, which is based off of that trick. This is by Jay Sankey, called Back in Time. So this involves just a little more sleight of hand. So if you're in that category, then stick around. So you're going to get a card selected. Make sure you have the bow in the deck. It does help. I didn't have it, and it just didn't go good. So they're going to have a card, 4 clubs. You're going to control this card to the top or keep it on top. In my case, I kept it on top. So I did a false overhand shuffle. I taught this in a lot of videos. I'm going to make a video for it sometime. But for now, I'm not going to go that in depth about it. I already taught you how to do the overhand shuffle. So now, get back in that same position. But instead of peeling off one card, you're going to peel off a chunk of cards. Doesn't matter how many. Just make sure it's not one card. Now it's up to you what you do. I learned it where you slide their selection back and then you shuffle the rest. The way I like to do it is you take the next card and you slide it back to yourself. And then you're going to shuffle these on top. But you want to hide that bow. So now you're like this. So now you're like this, okay? So this half we don't care about. This is your bow card, and then there's the selection. So what I mean by the bow card is simple. Okay, now after that, you're gonna, so let's see here. You're gonna lift up on that bow. Okay, so it's a little hard to see, I'm gonna really out jog it. Now, obviously, you wouldn't do this, but I'm exaggerating it. Gonna push up and in, and you're gonna create this little bow. Make sure the spectator doesn't see this. And you're just gonna be shuffling these cards from that break. I think right here you can see. And watch. Gonna try to move my finger out of the way. I think right there. Here's the last card. Okay, now I have no more cards. So I throw it on top, and their selections on top. So it looks like this. So I shuffle, 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 shuffle. And now it's on top still, 4 clubs. Now you can do anything you want to keep that card on top, control it on top, follow up with false cuts, false shuffles, anything you want. Now this is optional, but what I did was a double lift. So I showed the bottom card as not theirs, and then I came over, and I riffled up 2 cards, and I turned them over. I have a whole video, actually 2 videos on 2 double lifts. This is my preferred way of a double lift, called the strike double. And then I have the double lift Shin Lim does, which looks sort of like that. So do whatever double lift you want. You don't have to do it, but I do it. Now you're going to turn the deck over. Now if it's easier for you, make sure you catch a break underneath or above the bottom 2 cards. So you can use your pinky and pull them down, or you can riffle down 2 cards. Now, if you think you're not going to need that, go ahead, but you might mess up. Because what you're going to do is that same slop shuffle. So peel off some cards, turn them over, peel off some more, clip, and keep on doing this. Now, you're going to keep on doing this until you have 2 cards left. And you don't want to push over and flash, okay? So you're going to do this, and you're going to be left with 2 cards, okay? So that's why the pinky breaks the easiest. But essentially, it doesn't matter how your other hand ends, if you're going to be putting the cards on top. Personally, I think this way is easier, but doesn't matter. Now, you're left like this. So face up, face down, and 2 cards. What you're going to do is the same thing. So you're going to show face up to face down. You have face down to face up. And grab that break. This time it's face up to face up instead of face down to face down. Do the same thing as before. But this time, keep in mind, you have a double lift. So now you ask, is this your card? They'll say no. So make sure you do your double lift, however you do that. And now their card is right here, and all of the cards are back to normal. So make sure you watch Jay Sankey's video on the back in time trick, because he does it where first they start off like this, and they take a picture of the card spread out, and then they end back like this. So it's just a really nice trick. Here's the last trick. Now this one I've been playing around with. But essentially there's 2 ways you can get this accomplished. So this one I probably didn't do the best on. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a card selected and you're going to control it on top or keep it on top. Now I'm going to keep this face up the entire time so you can see what happens. So 7 of spades, and all I did was a false cut. I have a few videos on false cuts. Make sure you watch those. Essentially, I held the deck like this. And I just lift up about half. And all I did was I swiveled this into my hand like this. So you middle ring, pinky's off, thumb right here. Index, push it down and up. You go one way. You go one way, you'll run into your hand. Go the other way, you can go into your other hand. So make sure you go like that. But when you lift up and you turn, you're going to use your other index finger here. Contact this bottom corner, and then you're going to turn it and out away from yourself into your hand. And then with both of my hands, I come over, I catch a break, and then I pick up from the break, and I turn this hand down, and then I come over and I turn that hand down again. But of course you don't need to catch that break if you don't want to. If you feel like you can do it without the break, go ahead. And then I did the same thing. So this time when I took it into my hand, I turned this hand down, tap, drop, turn up, grab, drop. Like that. So if we combine them, it's going to look like this. And we'll give them one more cut. And those are false cuts. So now here's what you're going to want to do. Now this is going to take, I don't know, it depends. You might pick this up really quick. But essentially when you do the shuffle, so remember this is down, but I'm going to keep it up. You're going to push off, but you're going to use your thumb and push this card forward and turn your hand over. That's because you don't want the card peeking out, because you want them to think that it's lost in the deck. So you're going to push over, push that forward, line it up almost like a double lift, and turn your hand over. And you're going to start shuffling the deck. Now, keep in mind how this can end. Now, if you were like me, you ended with your hand face up, that's fine, you're going to collect them. Make sure you have that bow in the deck, it comes in handy. I probably flashed 100 times, but hopefully the tutorials here is going to be better. You're going to do the same stuff, so face down to face up, you have face up to face down, you have back to back. Here's what you need to watch out for. If you're shuffling, okay, and you end with your hand face up, and you find that break, their card is going to be, when you lift up on the break, right here, the 7 of spades, okay? So, let me show you what I mean. So, we have the 7 of spades here. We shuffle, shuffle, all the way through till we get to the end. We're like this. So you can do the whole thing, and then you cut to your break, okay? So right here, you're going to turn this half over, take this bottom half and put it on top, because now their card will be on top. Let me do that again. It's a little weird. So like this. Okay, so we're going to leave it like this. When you cut at that break, the card's going to be right here. So you're going to turn this half over and put it on top. So now all the cards are face down, and their card is left on top. So it's sort of like the back in time, but instead there's no double lift. Now the last way is, let's say, their card's on top. You do this, okay? So you shuffle, shuffle, but you end with your hand down. So not up, but down. Well, what do? Well, you cut to that break, but keep in mind that their card will still be right here. Okay, so I do it like that, and their card is right there. Now, sometimes it might mess up on you. I know when I was practicing, it wasn't always that way. So we have it right here. I'll go over this one more time. So you shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. You end with your hand up. Keep in mind their card will be right here on the bottom. You put that on top. You're all set. Okay? We do this again. So we go through. We turn this over. You can do the whole thing, but it will still be on the bottom. So you just need to keep that in mind. Whatever way you do it, it's gonna be on the bottom. Let me know if that doesn't work. Let me know how you like the tricks. Which one was your favorite? I hope you like the deck review. That's it, and I will see you guys tomorrow, Sunday, for the last deck review. Bye.